Welcome to the Wrap-Up, a VR live stream focused on keeping you up to date with the adoption of universal profiles and growth of the new creative economy. Join us as we uncover the fusion of technology, artistry, and innovation that's redefining how we create, share, and experience in this digital age. It's time to wrap it up. Welcome back to the Wrap-Up, everyone. Today is February 2nd, the year is 2024. Take a moment to click that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It helps a ton and ensures you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Also, be sure to find us on Common Ground in the KEEZ community, because Common Ground is a Web3 community platform that we've all been waiting for. And if you've been missing out on the lightning talks, then you've been missing out on some lightning alpha, right, Alts?
Don't miss out on those lightning talks, fam. It's been a good vibe. It's kind of creating this culture of alpha drip. So I like it. Really been fun. But yeah, hope everybody's Friday is going great so far.
Yes. Alt, is a drip a repeated thing while a drop is one splash?
I don't know.
Maybe we'll entertain that for the entire hour. Stay tuned. In the meantime, some words from our friends and sponsors over at LEEQUID. LEEQUID, a liquid staking solution tailored for the LUKSO blockchain, enables low-friction staking of LYX tokens redeemable for SLYX tokens on a one-to-one basis. Its custom liquidity pool allows for quick staking changes, avoiding traditional network delays. Supported by LUKSO advisors and launched post-consensus audit in October of 23, LEEQUID ensures a secure and user-friendly staking experience. Be sure to follow LEEQUID on Twitter for opportunities to earn passive rewards while participating in the overall security of the LUKSO network. Oh, sorry. My hands were wiggling because there was still some transparencies there. I started giving like the...
I was trying to peek.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, big news for LEEQUID. After being closed for many months, they threw the gates open and said, hey, y'all, we've onboarded some new node operators. So we'd like to thank the LUKSO community for your patience and trust. We also integrated a new set of features representing a major user experience improvement for our users. Check them out below. Alt, I'm assuming you went right in and staked some Lux, didn't you?
Yes, sir, I did. I've been waiting patiently to stake some more. So yeah, and I'll continue to just kind of roll it in as well. Absolutely love this update. I mean, I have so many people hitting me up daily. Where and when can I stake again? Where and when? So I was just sending out a ton of DMs yesterday, like it's live, it's live. Even texting IRL, some of my friends have just been waiting around for this. So it's great. I love to see it. And it comes with some really cool features. Like auto compounding is one of my favorites. So cool. You can just like toggle that bad boy on, let those things roll back into themselves without any sort of effort. We also got some universal profile integration yet. I haven't even tried that. I'm still on the MetaMask side right now. But we've got tax efficient CSV exports and individual user metrics coming soon. So yeah, I'm really excited for all these new features.
Hey, I'll bail out the frog that's in your throat right now.
Yeah, thank you. I can cough there.
And say, actually, we got a sneak peek at the metrics pages, although they haven't launched yet. They are slick, and you will be very excited to see them yourself. You'll have system-wide metrics for LEEQUID. You will also have individual user metrics for you as a personal staker. It's really up in the game here. Love, obviously, we're big fans of the team over at LEEQUID and the team behind Drops. They're friends of ours, and they are a high quality team producing a high quality product consistently. So if you've been sitting on some Lux and you had been really just itching to get it working for you and you want to participate in the overall security of the network, the time is now, friends. The time is now.
Yes, absolutely love it. Put that Lux to work, baby.
Yeah. And actually, we're like imploring you, go ahead, stake your Lux, but we didn't need to say anything because once it was open, people started flooding in. And what was really cool is on the transactions, the txs.app, that transactions.app, you could actually watch the deposits flooding in. Look at Rob G. You are just a legend. I didn't even know you were going to pull that video. Those are all deposits in the LEEQUID pool, right? And this doesn't mean that it's on LEEQUID's nodes themselves, because they've onboarded their
Stake
first
Lab. Yeah,
Stake Lab, their first large node operator, with more to come. So we can pretty much be assured that this pool is going, that LEEQUID, the staking as a service, will be open for a very long time.
That's what we love to see, fam. Yeah, so no rush to jump in. You know, for those of you who are kind of waiting, or taking your time, because yeah, it's not going to fill up like it did the first time, right? So yeah, so keep in mind that there is a waiting period for your licks to show up, because like a lot of people rolled in yesterday. I think it was over 400,000 licks already just came in yesterday. So there'll be
Oh,
a period of, I don't know, maybe I don't remember what it was, like a week or two, but basically before it actually shows up and you start earning rewards. So yeah, be patient on that. But you can always go to, I believe it's under the claims tab, and you can see those transactions pending to just notify, let yourself know that they are there and just ready to rock and roll.
absolutely. There is a queue. You have to get in line before you start earning rewards. The first time that they threw the gates open, they had their anti-dilution tool disabled, which means that like as people were entering the pool, all the rewards are being diluted over every depositor in real time. This time here, if you're a longtime staker in Liquid, you are not being diluted across all those deposits. You're actually the validators themselves have to become live before they start getting rewards. So
Love
a
that.
little slightly different experience this time, and definitely doing right by the long-term stakers. And it's actually kind of interesting. I think Liquid is updating their roadmap in the coming days, and they've teased that there will be some incentives for staking with them. That sounds interesting. I'm not sure what they have in mind, but I'm really pumped to find out.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I love this team. Everything they've done so far and their vision for the future seems super cool. And I'm excited to see kind of what they got cooking on that roadmap.
Yeah. So later on, we'll show you a quick little video from meetup number 2, which happened in Istanbul. The featured guest that night was actually the Drops team, the team behind Liquid. Carlos Caldas, the CEO, and Samuel Vidu, who is the CTO. They both spoke in that event. So as that video gets uploaded, you'll actually be able to um, not interact, but you'll get a sense for what these guys look like, how they carry themselves, their overall demeanor, and they are pros. I can tell you that.
Well said, Eth. Well said.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that we want to say about Liquid right now, Alts?
We're excited. Give us some more. We need that alpha.
We are excited. Give us some more. Super pumped about that. All right. So now that we got that out of the way, because that's actually really big news for the ecosystem, because there was a lot of pent up demand for um, really that staking as a service. Um, I think we're ready to jump into our top stories, which is a narrative tale of how things might have not spiraled out of control, but a little bit of, I don't know. We are the fingers on the pulse of the community. We are the reflection of what is going on in the chat rooms that you don't see, of what people are talking about. And we wanted to give you an insight into kind of like what happened last week.
Yeah, that's a good way to put a bow on it as far as like kind of our perspective. We're trying to just share the experience through the community's eyes.
Yeah. All
And
right.
and help inform the ones that, showed up late to the party or like, that didn't quite get the full picture.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So rather than burying the lead, let's just show the first tweet here. So we've been around for a long time, obviously, right? And if you've been following us, you're probably our friends. We've been tweeting about this, talking in chat rooms about Luxo for years now. And Alt says all the time, "Hey, I love all the new names that are showing up talking about Luxo. It's actually one of your favorite things to talk about, right?"
For sure. I always love to see new activity.
Yeah. So we've started, especially with the launch of Universal Profile, seeing a lot of new names come in, and we thought it was really interesting. So this is kind of a story of how we get to where I think it gets a little hot, right? This tweet comes out. This is the morning of the 27th. This is from Amir the Great. Says, just looked into Luxo, came to the conclusion that Luxo might become the Apple of Web3. Where's the Lux community? Because the Luxo community does believe that Luxo could be the Apple of Web3. Look at the engagement on that. 27 retweets, 184 likes, 38 replies. I mean, we jumped in hot because as a Luxo community, we're super excited when people jump in and want to talk Luxo, right?
For sure. Yeah, we're always looking to support newbies coming in, and we want to, and we're excited to see and hear other people's perspectives on, the future of this blockchain because we all are so bullish on it and the fundamentals, and we love to see, and we know that network effect and community growth is coming, right? So yeah, we're always happy to see new activity coming in.
Yeah. All right. So then that was the morning of the 27th. Shortly thereafter, this is like from my perspective. Well, Rob, let's move it on. We jump into a tweet that I saw here that says the Lux community is strong. A lot of chill whales chilling. The question is when chill whales cross token titans. I think they should all join the boot camp. What do you think? Titans assemble. For me, I saw this and I went, huh, what's a token titan? Right? I mean, I like to keep abreast of all the projects launching in the ecosystem. So immediately I wanted to know what a token titan was. So I clicked on the link, right? Also,
Yeah,
did you see this tweet? This
I
tweet?
did see that tweet. Yeah, that this was actually the first one that was kind of like, that's a you don't have it there, but it was like with a screenshot of showing like all the new whales that had started following them. Oh, there it is. Bam, Rob's on top of it. But yeah, so that was kind of a typical kind of engagement tweet looking to get more activity. But yeah, the Token Titans tag kind of was like, oh, what's that? Got my radar going for sure.
Yeah, so, uh, for me, I was curious. I'm like, "Oh, Token Titans. I wonder what that is. If it's a project, I wanna know what it is, and if it's viable, like, let's throw some support behind it." And this is not out of the realm of, like, the normal day-to-day that we go through. I mean, how often do we talk about a new project? Or, I mean, me personally, uh, buy up some of their NFTs just to give them away to the community members that might not get them in mint. Like, I'll buy them on secondary. I just did that with Fancy Panthers. So, like, I want to know what's going on because I love to support new artists, new projects. I love to have a really good idea of what's happening. So I started scratching on who's got token titans in their profile. And then something curious happened. I started noticing something. Rob, do we have that slideshow? So I started clicking through these profiles and I started noticing that they're kind of formulaic. They all kind of look the same, right? What do you notice
Yeah,
about them?
yeah. No, they definitely seemed a bit repetitive. Like when just looking through them, and I'd done the same thing. I kind of clicked through a bunch of different profiles attached to Token Title. I noticed they all have the same subscribe button on the side, and it just seemed very formulaic. So that was, yeah, I was very intrigued by that. Like, what's going on with all this stuff?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I ran across this LUKSO farmer. We highlighted it last week, building with token titans, and then boom. Oh shit, the professors with token titans. Now I was really intrigued, right? It was at that point that I said, "All right, what is going on?" Because it seems like these accounts are all connected. Like, are they communicating? Are they trying to all come in together? Again, not saying there's anything wrong with it. Like, I wasn't trying to say that there was anything wrong with it. I was really at this point internally, I hadn't said anything. I was interested, and I wasn't alone because in the private chat, like in the chats, the many chats that exist out there, there was already rumblings like, what is going on? It feels like we're being invaded a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Invaded, like, and that's one of the great things about being, heavily embedded into the Luxo ecosystem since, back in day one is like we have all these channels and we get to hear from all the different perspectives within the community and the vibrancy of that. But yeah, so like among these different group chats and DMs and things like on different platforms, you saw the same conversation popping up at several different places of people doing the same thing we did. We saw this and we're like, that's kind of interesting. And then you kind of dig in a little bit and you're like, it's a little sus, and then we definitely saw that narrative kind of gaining some steam in the community for sure.
Yeah. So again, being the logical and analytical person that I am, I didn't stop at just looking at Twitter banners. I started like, what is the substance of these accounts? And then I uncovered something else, which again, I wasn't sure how to handle it, but it was interesting enough that it started moving me towards I'm going to say something. So we know Professor Luxo, he's got a lot of really interesting information. He's gained a decent following in our community because he's constantly putting out really educational formats. And I think all of us have benefited from Professor Luxo's posts at some point, correct?
Yeah, no, I mean, we'd love to see the in-depth threads on the tech side of things. It's great.
Yeah. Professor Luxo even came into the KEEZ Discord when he first showed up in the ecosystem. This is when he had no followers, and he would ask us questions. Hey, I want more information here, or who is the resource? And we always helped because that's what good community members do. You point them in the direction for the knowledge that they're trying to get. And honestly, the more people talking about Luxo, the better, right, Alts?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's why we're so receptive to it whenever it does happen. We're like, yeah, oh cool. Let's try to pink pill them, give them some information. And the community is so good about sharing links and things like that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. All right. So we have this. brought up here, I want to pull up these two tweets side by side. Alts, you tell me what you notice.
Well, the first account is Ruslane. Not sure who that is. But the brick, which I think is actually a Token Titans kind of thing, their emoji. And then we got our Professor Luxo. But yeah, it's basically copy pasta, the exact same information targeting a couple different smaller projects. But it's like the exact same verbiage minus the swapping out of the project.
Yeah, replace the project name. I mean, you've got the exact same tweet. In fact, the image down below, uh, different
Right.
desk, obviously, but boy, that looks pretty damn close, right?
Well, we went from 7 steps to 5 steps, so maybe they're getting streamlined. And it went from 70 plus hours of work to 50 plus hours. So yeah, I guess they're dialing in the formula.
All right. So I noticed, so this is just me like clicking around. I'm listening, I'm seeing people post about it kind of in the community. Again, there's so many posts going back and forth all the time. We preach do your own research, so I'm never going to take someone's word for it. I
Right.
This is my own digging, and it's I put this in here from my point of view because I wanted to show kind of like how my brain got to my eventual tweet. So once I noticed that Russell Ann and Professor Luxo had effectively the same tweet at the top, and those are not the only two people that have that formatted tweet. It's actually almost all of them. The Token Titans had the exact same tweet. I said, all right, who are the Token Titans? So this is what prompted me to actually get to their website. So I went to the website, and the website is actually a boot camp. Okay. So I get to the website, which is the boot camp, and I start scrolling down, and I find this picture. Titan success story. It says Baptiste, 19 years old. That's protocol learner. That's Professor Lux. It says, I joined 2 weeks ago and gained over 200,000 impressions. I'm already in conversation with key opinion leaders in my niche and got offered an ambassador deal, and he declined it. I will take over the whole ecosystem first. All right. It was at that moment that I said, thumbs, get ready, because we're about to scorch this. We're about to scorch the keyboard on my phone. And I put a tweet out there. Now, the tweet I put out there wasn't meant to be like fucking, excuse my language. Jesus.
Whoa,
Alts, this
whoa.
is not safe for work. I can't even help myself. Sir swears a lot should be my alter ego. I ended up popping a tweet out there that said, "Hey, lots of these guys have shown up talking about Luxo. Is it genuine interest in the project, or are they farming your engagement? You decide." And I just posted their website, right? Literally saying, "Hey, community, go to this website. You figure it out. Are they farming your engagement, or are they genuinely interested in the project?" Now, this was an open-ended question. I did not tell people what I thought. I didn't post all that research, Alts, right?
Yeah, I mean, and this is you're giving your perspective on it, and many of us had the same thing. I did the exact same thing, going through the same process, looking through the tweets and the connections and accounts, and then I went to the site and was like, okay, that was like the headliner for me when I saw how to make 5 to 10,000 per month in Web3, and that's just like typically a giant red flag. Even the caption on there said, and yes, it sounds like a total Web2 scam BS stuff, but that's on purpose. Like, so I mean, definitely, yeah, my red flags were kind of going off. Like, okay, I kind of want to know more about this, but the rumblings amongst the community we're already happening, quite a bit. And then kind of your tweet actually kind of helped just unite that a bit to where everybody, okay, let's get on the same page and kind of figure out what's going on here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. It was at that point that, oh, it's a deep rabbit hole, right? Also, this became a really, really deep rabbit hole, and some of the connections that are made to the founders of Token Titans are not good. I don't know how else to say it. Let's be honest. They're associated with a number of rug pulls on meme coins. It really, it's not good stuff. And there's much more in that rabbit hole. I don't know else if you want to editorialize or give anything more on that.
No, we can stop there because it gets ridiculous. There was a few people that took it even further and started looking into their backgrounds and just found some insane stuff. So I mean, yeah, if that's your cup of tea, there's plenty to to go down into that rabbit hole. But like, that's pretty much enough to just know that their associations were not great. So yeah, definitely that was a big red flag, right?
Yeah. Then, so this is where I guess we'll say, if you want, you can do more research and you can find more in that rabbit hole. That's up to you. We're not telling you to do that. We're just trying to explain this main point. We're here for the greater good of the LUKSO ecosystem. We're not here to farm your engagement, right? And I say that like everybody posts things, and if you're on social media, obviously the game is engagement. Let's be really honest
Right.
about that, right? The question is, what is the motivation behind the engagement that you're looking for? I think our reputation speaks for itself. We are only here for the greater good of the LUKSO ecosystem. We're just trying to bring things together in a in some type of unified way where it's safe and friendly, right? Where
Yeah.
information is shared freely and our motivations are transparent, right? We try to be very transparent with our motivations, right, Alts?
Yeah, and I think that's I mean, that's what we kinda learned over the years, just being on this side of community, right, is understanding that what community members want to see from, the rest of the community and their projects that they're associated with is just, yeah, transparency whenever possible. So, and I think I mean, of course, everybody has motivations for the reasons they do things, right? And they're not necessarily always public, but I think it's one of those things that when you've been in the space for a while, you kind of get a sense for when people are pushing pretty hard in a direction, it becomes more clear that you need to know what their motivations are, right? Especially when they're trying to press really fast and hard. It's kind of like, no, I need to understand why, right? Or what you're hoping to get out of this. Or if you want something from me, like what, how does that benefit you? As opposed to just the natural engagement. People just want to, engage with something, get some interactions and help grow their reputation in that ecosystem, right? But sometimes it takes it further. And then, yeah, so it's transparency is always a really great way to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right. So after this tweet went out and things started going back and forth, there the hmm, there started to become this like narrative that was trying to get pushed saying the LUKSO community doesn't accept new members. We're out of our minds. Like it's such a small ecosystem. This is really sad. Okay. I could see that that might be something that people would say I could see that might be your take on it if you don't scratch a little deeper and you actually understand what the token titans are doing here. So let's just go just like one level deeper. This is in response to Mr. Pixels, who jumped in, another one of these token titans accounts that was just all about LUKSO. And Mr. Pixel said, it's not LUKSO versus the token titans. It's us going up in Web3. Totally agree. Right. And he tagged me, said Web3 moves together. We're all tiny parts in the whole new world. Right. And they said good bit GB, because they have this thing against GM, where they say GB, good build is somehow better than good morning, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. And that was a quote tweet from Mr. Pixels on this Amir the Great tweet saying, oh my God, I woke up to all this FUD with LUKSO. What the hell's going on? So I said, hey, I never said there's an adversarial position. I was just asking, are you interested in LUKSO or are you grifting on community sentiment? Are you just coming into a community where people are like so ready to embrace
Right.
any newcomer because we're genuine. We're genuinely open arms for newcomers. So I said, hey, honest question, like show me the receipts, post your up, show that you use the chain. Because if you use it, then you are a member of the community and like you deserve to be here, right? And that was my question to Mr. Pixels. And Mr. Pixels at Mr. Pixels LUKSO was like one of those guys coming in hot and heavy talking about how wonderful LUKSO was, which we all love. We love when people talk about how wonderful LUKSO is. Alts, can you believe that Mr. Pixels might not have been all about LUKSO?
I mean, it's no surprise, right? I mean, it's one of those things where like when people just come in out of nowhere, like I said, going super hard, right? It's like, okay, cool. Like maybe they pink pilled themselves. They just learned about this stuff because like we kind of all did that in our own way, right? When we first got into this ecosystem, super excited about it. You want to talk about it so you can connect with everybody, right? But sometimes that's not necessarily the case, right? They might have some ulterior motives, right? He replied here, nice, right? I'm not looking to start drama. I just want to contribute to the ecosystem and shared a picture of his universal profile there. Which actually, if you go visit that universal profile, you'll see that it had zero activity, right? He just made one. So I don't know if that's necessarily uh, an indicator or a marker of contribution to the ecosystem, just quite yet.
So if you notice at the top here, see how it says Mr. Pixels Dogecoin, Mr. Pixel Doge? That's because Mr. Pixels is now no longer a LUKSO maxi. Now he's a Doge maxi. And this speaks to what these people's intention actually is. So we're going to save you the effort if you have to go dig. These guys are they all have multiple accounts, right? They all have multiple Twitter handles, and that might not be crazy because lots of people have multiple handles, right? But let's
Yeah.
visit Mr. Pixel's other handle and see what he posts. So Mr. Pixel's on his other handle, Mr. Pixels, in the next tweet, Rob, says infiltrating a niche. Think about that word and what that connotes. Infiltrating a niche is like drilling into an ice lake. Calculate the thickness of the ice based on factors like market cap and Twitter activity. If you notice that you're not getting anywhere, stop and move on to explore a more promising niche. Start drilling. What these guys at Token Titans look to do is find these small projects that are very, very niche, and they try to get in, right? And they try to make names for themselves so they can become, I don't think there's anything wrong with this necessarily, key opinion leaders in the ecosystem. The thing is, though, like, it's not super genuine because they're not here for the actual project. What they're trying to do is apply a formula to gain jobs in the ecosystem. And like, there's nothing wrong with working for the ecosystem. What I'm saying is this the type of person that you want to have a high level job in your ecosystem? They don't give a shit about your project. At the end of the day, all they care about is literally grifting on everybody who's actually there to raise their own profile so they can get a position of importance and get paid in the native token of the ecosystem. That's what they want.
Well, and that's kind of on the surface level. We don't know. We really don't know how far it goes beyond that in terms of like then also funneling people into some sort of paid program or a book or a rug pull of some kind. You never know, right? So like that's kind of the problem too about giving them raising them up when it's unwarranted, as you kind of open yourself up to some of that. But yeah, talking to about like infiltrating a niche, like, yeah, LUKSO's a niche. We're still very, very, very small. I think we have big plans. I think we will definitely be a giant project at some point, but we're not there yet, right? We're still growing organically, and we like to welcome people in, right? So, but I think it's just kind of a good reminder as a community that like we need, nobody else is going to help us. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect each other, right? So communication is a great way to do that. And like, yeah, we want to welcome everybody, but it's like we also need to, make sure that people earn our respect and our admiration, right? Just because you just come in out of nowhere one day, especially if you have an account that's like completely new, that's done nothing, and then starts tweeting. Now if you had like a bigger account that had established reputation, say in a different ecosystem, like say Ethereum, right? And then they're like, oh, let me talk about LUKSO because now I've discovered LUKSO. That's a completely different scenario if they're bringing on other people. And then that's a different level of excitement versus something that comes out of nowhere. There's no reputation at all. You just got to tread carefully with stuff like that, I think.
Yeah, worst case scenario. And again, we're just giving you the sentiment that's hidden from public view because it's happening in private chats. But the worst case scenario is you get an army of influencers that come in, they gain reputation, and then start shilling a token that can actually do real damage to the ecosystem, that can actually hurt real users. LUKSO is about reputation. We've been on that narrative. Um, which is not our idea. I mean, this is stated in the white paper, right? The blueprint for the
Yeah.
new creative economies. LUKSO is about reputation, and reputation is something that you have to earn. You have to. It's by repeated action over time, right? It's not about like coming in and just saying popular buzzwords and then gaining a following like that can be so friggin' dangerous. It's just I don't know if we're not saying it, no one else is saying it. And whether or not you agree with how I might have handled it or anyone else handled it in the ecosystem, the fact of the matter is, like we said, this is a dark and dirty rabbit hole if you start to fall down it. And it really raised to the level that someone needed to say something. And that person is me. There's another Lucky from Universal Punks probably could have said something too because Lucky is a kind of guy who's going to say what he thinks. But that's our job. People have been around a long time. We're going to say things.
Yeah, but it comes from a good place, right? We're just trying to get people to open their eyes and dig in and research things and to protect themselves, right? And here's the thing, like as we grow, we're going to continue to see that stuff happen, right? There's going to be more grifters, more sharks that will come in and try to exploit this ecosystem. So we got to continue to get better, at protecting each other in that process.
Yeah. So actually, we took the opportunity here to highlight. I mean, if this is a reputation game, let's look at an account that showed up very recently, Heisenberger, right? Alt
Yeah.
and I were talking pre-show, and we were starting to say, like, reputation is kind of like a proof of work. Like, the more effort that you put into an ecosystem, the more that your reputation grows. And Heisenberger is an account that showed up during the hackathon, has stuck with us, has engaged in the community, has spoken in the lightning talks, has built Defolio. I mean, this is an investment of his time and energy, and continues to come back to the well and is building real reputation. So for that reason, Heisenberger is an example of, like, I don't want to say the right way to do it, but like, it's a counterpoint, let's say, to some of
Yeah.
these other accounts that came in, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you can already see hard work has been put out there already and continued engagement and growth. And it seems like it comes from a genuine place, right? Like that some of those things, once you engage with people for a while and you get a sense of it, which is why you should typically hold off judgment for a while until they build some sort of reputation in that ecosystem, right? And then you can decide to support or not. But yeah, I've loved the vibes coming from Heisenberger, like really building some cool stuff and with grand visions for continued growth into the future, which is, what we want.
Yeah. And this is, I guess I'll give a closing statement here. Obviously, reputation is important in this ecosystem. And you're not probably in some of the chats that I'm in, but I said, hey, Professor Lux came in, built his reputation. He started from nothing, offered a lot of value to this ecosystem. Professor Lux can be whatever he wants, and he can still make as many posts as he wants. And I hope that he still posts for LUKSO because I think he's valuable. But I just think as a greater ecosystem, we should be aware of the background, right? The long-term reputation of these people. You can look at the Etholorian's Twitter, and you can go back to November of 2020 when it was created, and you can look at all the bullshit things that I've said, and you can like me or not. And before that, yeah, sure, my Twitter was a different name. And the reason I'm going to say that it was different is because it was my personal Twitter. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to keep my wife and kids and everybody else from the public eye. That's a decision I can make. But there's a long history that you can go back and measure the Etholorian against. And that's what we're talking about. There's a I don't know. There's a weight that comes to that, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we have what universal profiles on testnet that you can go back and look at. We've got universal profiles on mainnet that you can look at and see. No, of course, just buying stuff doesn't necessarily denote, positive contribution, even though that's a way to support people and things in this ecosystem. But like, eh, as these new reputation systems, eventually emerge, like it'll be a completely different game, right? It'll be very easy to see for anybody who's actually been an active, positive, contributor since, going way back. But yeah, I think it's important to keep these things in mind and don't undervalue your own reputation and how you interact and the things that you choose to circle yourself around because it does reflect on you.
There's always that um, there's that scene in old movies where you have the snake oil salesman that rolls into town and sells people all these great ideas. The snake oil is going to cure your cancer and make you grow 5 inches taller and all these other things. And then you buy all the snake oil and then they leave town and you're left with just a bunch of shit promises. What we're saying is evaluate new entrants into the ecosystem with open eyes. It doesn't mean every new entrant is grifting on you or has an ulterior motive. They might just be really excited to be here, but don't just shower them with love and affection because they're mentioning your favorite topic. Like, think about who this person is and what their motivations might be.
Yeah, well said.
Okay. All right. I think that closes what I want to say about this. And then I'm going to pretty much leave that group of people and that topic off to the side from now on.
Sounds good.
Okie dokie.
Apologize to fucking nobody.
To apologize to absolutely fucking nobody.
We'll leave it on that.
We'll leave it on that. All right. Let's roll over to the network update because we're going to skip up and to the right. You want to know why? Because the price action has sucked. And who needs money anyway?
It's just chopping.
Process.
Once again, the weekly change were all positive numbers, more profiles, more contracts, more transactions. This is all very bullish alts.
That's pretty consistent too. I mean, I know we had some excitement with Universal Page going live, a lot of new profiles, but like, man, still continued at 8%, deployed contracts 9%, blockchain transactions up 22%. Like, I love to see this continued growth already.
For sure.
Look
And
at that. Yeah, Universal profiles, we're at 14,000. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, it's big. It's absolutely huge. And then the staking dashboard here, we know that we're adding more and more stake Lux by probably the minute because people keep jumping into that contract. So, I mean, overall, bullish metrics for the network. We just keep growing. All you have to do is stick around in this ecosystem and keep contributing, and good things are going to happen.
Yeah, we're literally heading in the right direction. And even like, migrated licks were at over 8.2 million. So like, that's like 55% of the network is already, of the LYXE is already moved over. So that's going to continue to shrink as well.
Yeah.
There's more and more reasons to move them over every day.
That's great stuff. All right. From the network side, on the news, we had the LUKSO team released like a quick little recap video from meetup number 2. Looked like a blast. Alts and I were there. It was very pink. We gave you the quick rundown on that, but they also tell you they're going to be at ETH Denver, which is a fantastic meetup that's coming up really soon.
Yeah, these meetups are wonderful. The presentations at meetup number 2 in Istanbul were really well done. And I think they're already putting out snippets of those as well. So definitely, if you didn't make it out to those, I highly recommend checking out those clips, because each one of those presentations were unique and different in their own way. But like, the alpha was coming in hard, hard and fast. There was a lot of great information.
For sure. So like we said, the LUKSO team is going to be at ETH Denver, and ETH Denver actually made a sponsored announcement and said, hey, LUKSO is sponsoring ETH Denver. Web3 innovation is made possible at ETH Denver 2024 with the help of LUKSO. And if you remember last year, LUKSO had that incredible party in the church. I wonder what happens this year.
Yeah, I was there last year. It was a lot of fun. The presentations were great, and then the party was vibing. It was a lot of fun.
So LUKSO has been pretty active. They had a community call on Common Ground hosted by F.A.M.E, but we also had Louis and Yamin. And now I'm going to blank on anyone else who was there. Who else was there?
A bunch of people.
And there was it was quite nice. We had the guys from Universal Page, Jake and Vlad. Thanks, Rob. You guys couldn't hear him, but thank you for bailing me out. Jake from Universal Page spoke a little bit. There's a quick little demonstration from the team at LUKSO. Again, this happened in the Common Ground. If you're not on Common Ground already, you should probably think about jumping in.
Yeah, definitely get into Common Ground. There's a lot going on over there. You can link your Universal profile already, and then they are working on integrating LSPs. So the fun's only going to continue to grow.
Yep. Actually, we had the most of the tweets selected for the show, and then all of a sudden, bam! Universal, the ERC725 account punched us in the face with this one.
What do we got here, Eve?
Boost the security of your Universal profile. You can now easily verify and set up your two-factor authentication recovery. Check out your new dashboard to improve the security of your accounts. my.universalprofile.cloud. I actually went there, checked my account to see if my backup was configured appropriately. It had that little red X, which means no, the Florian's account was not backed up appropriately. I knew that. And what was really nice is it only took about a minute and a half, and I got a nice little green check, and I know that I now have my backup through both Universal Page and Universal Profiles. I'm pretty pumped up about it.
Beautiful. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to do this yet. I did do the thing where you manually input it into the browser, the Block Explorer, and check to see if there's any controllers for recovery there. But I would definitely do this as well and just double check and make sure, because I want that check mark too. Makes you sleep a little better at night with them check marks.
Yeah, it's just let's call it maintenance and security of your profile. Take that very seriously. You'd hate to be a person who's going to lose it. Okay. Got a tweet from Vlad Laconis, developer, obviously behind Universal Page. And Vlad says, we need to focus on parallelizing the execution layer of LUKSO. This will come biting sooner than we all expect. If you're saying, what the hell is he talking about? What he's saying is demand for block space on the LUKSO network is obviously increasing. We're getting a lot more users. And with more DApps coming out, there's going to be a lot more transactions that's going to fill up our blocks. As blocks fill up, we're going to have now in let's call it auctions for block space. It's going to be more expensive to get your transactions through in any given block, and we're going to see gas prices rise. What does he mean by parallelizing the blockchain execution? We could think of sharding. We could think of just layer 2 scaling solutions. And there's plenty of other things that could come up to allow for parallelizing the blockchain execution. But that's what he's basically saying we better think about scaling now because we don't want to run into the same problems that Ethereum mainnet is running into.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to, we have, it's definitely nice now to have this super cheap gas. Like, it's just nice. While we have it, we'll definitely enjoy it. Right. But it's definitely good to, we have that advantage that we're still so new that we have the ability to think forward about some of these issues that will come up. Right. It's going to be a completely different ecosystem, right? It'll be way more of, mature at that stage, right? In a lot of ways, but it's good to go ahead and start thinking about these things.
Yep. And you could come up with all kinds of crazy analogies about grocery store checkout lines. Or this is one I really like that ChatGPT generated for me. Sharding. Think of blockchain like a big coloring book. Instead of having one person color the whole book page by page, sharding breaks the book into sections, call them shards. And each section is colored by a different person at the same time. This makes the whole coloring process faster. Well,
Yeah, but I mean, but less curated because now some people like to color the whole book themselves.
yeah, that's why I didn't bring that up in a context of a serious conversation because everybody would be like, well, thank you for teaching me how to color a book faster.
Yeah, imagine getting, 4-year-olds to share their coloring book. Good luck.
Oh, man.
Well, this week we didn't have a lot of pink tweet activity on the timeline, so we actually do something different. We're gonna pull out just one and done this week because
almost everything I have on is pink, and it's my favorite.
And congrats to the Dawn of Drip, this week's winner. They got a tweet here that says, I've been dipping my feet into the LUKSO blockchain, and so far I'm feeling it. I haven't paid for gas, not once. Email is all I needed to sign up. Free mints, affordable mints, solid people down to share their knowledge on it. So early, I ain't even encountered any scammers yet. Yeah, he's got a little LUKSO background there. So yeah, well done. This is such a great sentiment. We love to hear that from one of the newer people joining this ecosystem. Shout out, Don.
Yeah, it hasn't encountered any scammers yet because, like Jack Nicholson and A Few Good Men, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
You can't handle the scammers.
Yeah, good fun.
Well, should we head into some fame?
For sure.
I didn't strive for success. I strive to do something artistically important.
Alt, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, we got one here from LUKSO. We're excited to announce a masterclass presented by co-founder Marjorie on the new creative economy. Web3, digital fashion, and blockchain is now available. This is great. I actually went and signed up. I haven't had a chance to go through all of them yet. There's a good series of maybe 12 videos just highlighting different things about Web3. And you get to register for free and you can tap into the full potential for this new creative economy. So yeah, shout out Marjorie for putting this together. This is a wonderful, collection of videos to just hand off to some newbies wanting some more information.
Yeah, sometimes people say on the timeline really jerky things like, what do you even do, Marjorie? Well, I'll tell you what, she's a dynamo. And things like masterclass have an exposure that just our closed little circles on Web3 Twitter, crypto Twitter, is never going to reach to. Marjorie is really floats as I want to use the word icon, but like really floats in circles that are connected to all of the traditional Web 2, really powerful Web 2 brands and enterprises. And she's someone that you certainly want to keep an eye on. So when this popped up that she's part of this masterclass, I said, that's bullish.
Yeah. It's such a great way to kind of bridge that gap. Def icon, Shella. Yeah, you're definitely right on that. It's a great way to kind of bridge the gap between Web 3 and Web 2, right? Because we want those people to come over, but they need a lot of them need some more information or somebody to kind of walk them through, exactly what we're all about. So I love this.
Absolutely. Well, Marjorie's other company that she co-founded with Karina Grant, the Dematerialized, was actually the focus of part of the lightning talk, the last lightning talk from KEEZ. Sandra Reddy, who is a longtime community member, participant in multiple hackathons, Sandro came up with this nice little summary of what Fawn talked about relative to dematerialized, including Fawn at the end dropping some alpha that was far too hot for YouTube alts.
Yeah. Sorry, fam. You're gonna yeah, it had to be there to receive the alpha kind of thing. But yeah,
Absolutely.
shout out Fawn for coming onto Lightning Talks. We loved it. Common Ground is such a great way to kind of showcase some of these things. And I definitely agreed with some of the things on your list, except for those shoes. Those shoes, Rob, show those shoes again. Can we see those shoes? Those are artifact. I tried to buy those. I was clicking instantly like, and missed it. So I don't like those. Take those off my list. I think unless somebody wants to sell me a pair, and then I would love them again. And then we got a Carl Jip on there. There was so many Carl dolls. I love my collection of Carl dolls. But yeah, I can't wait for these things to go live. On mainnet
Soon. TM. And if you're at the Lightning Talk, you might know the boundaries of soon. So Tuesdays, or this Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, be there or be square for the next Lightning Talk, because you don't want to miss the opportunity to be in the know earlier than everyone else. Again, the Lightning Talk is in the Common Ground, the KEEZ Common Ground. Check that out.
Yes, well said. ETH, don't want to miss out Lightning Talks. Yeah, and next up we got one from NFT Daily. Pilates are coming. So yeah, they had a little Q&A coming for those guys. Great little thread there on Pilates. I know everyone's excited for these guys coming.
Yeah, Pilates is we've talked about them a bunch. I like the team behind them. I like that NFT Daily is covering them. Pilates is actually an interesting project because it's bridging right now what feels like our closed ecosystem of LUKSO with the greater crypto Twitter space. So
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what happens with the Pilates project. And are we going to see an explosion in universal profiles? Are we going to see maybe some of these NFTs from Pilates reach more of mainstream consciousness? And when I say mainstream, I'm talking like mainstream crypto Twitter. I don't know, Waltz. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think with each one of these new projects and whatever other things that are coming that we don't even know about, I think that's going to just continue to grow this ecosystem. Like we said, there's only 14,000 up so far. That's great. Just since where we're at, I would say the growth is really good and consistent. But at some point, it's gonna be one of those things. It's like tick, 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 and then we're just gonna see just some explosion up as people really discover what we're doing over here and the exciting part about the future potential.
Yeah, Pilates is leaning into the NFT 2.0. We do have LSP 8s, which is that NFT 2.0 token standard out there already on the LUKSO blockchain. But Pilates has already described kind of like how they might lean into this with like a brand partnership, because they can update the metadata. Like if they demonstrated one with like Pit Viper glasses, like I've got these cool glasses on. If they were to maybe secure a partnership with like a sunglass company, then for maybe a 30-day period, all the Pilates could be rocking sweet Pit Vipers, right? Because that can be done through this upgradable metadata. It's actually kind of cool. And Pilates seeks to actually work on brand partnerships through using some of the capabilities of NFT 2.0. And I just gave you one very, very basic use case. Actually, Juju from Julian.swoosh, longtime clone and really creative artist, actually asked a question, thoughts on the idea using Up by LUKSO, the community be able to vote and decide how the next chapter of his Suzuki story starts. Actually, really kind of a cool idea. I mean, the story itself could be an NFT, and based upon voting, you could then update the chapters of the NFT and add to the NFT as you move along. I mean, NFT 2.0 is really groundbreaking.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole concept of NFT 2.0 is just reimagining what an NFT can be, right? I mean, upgradable metadata is one of the examples of that, and but even the use cases within that little niche are quite expansive to what your imagination could come up with. So yeah, I love the idea of this concept. Being able to help, tell the own story of your project is really, really fun.
Yeah. So moving on, I mean, we've got Universal Punks that we've mentioned a number of times. Universal Punks, we know the people who are behind that project, they're OGs, but they're leaning into NFT 2.0 as well, saying, listen, you can mint your Universal Punk, and later on we can drop the 3D avatar to you, and we don't have to give you a new token. It can be part of your original token that you minted on the day that you got your Universal Punk. That is massive. And I love the fact that we've got projects that are starting to lean into that are really trying to lean into that early on, because it's going to blaze a path, or at least let me walk that back, not even blaze a path. Let's say it's going to pique the curiosity of future builders to try to lean into it in new and innovative ways. It's going to only take a few people to really push some boundaries where people realize that, oh my God, we can break free of these traditional mental
Right.
models we have around NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. These archaic models that we have around NFTs, on Ethereum and other chains. And that's one of those things that like we don't quite know how this is all going to play out over the next decade, right? We don't really know the behemoth that LUKSO is going to become and exactly what use cases are going to come out of this. That's a great thing about decentralization is like we kind of just get to build these tools and see what people do with them. So yeah, every time you see somebody exploring and experimenting with, some of these new LSP standards, yeah, I think it's just going to continue to open other people's eyes to more ideas, and we're just going to continue to see like momentum built off of that.
Yeah, I agree, Alts. I definitely agree with what you just said. So, Alts, I know you've been a big fan of what Canvasland has cooking with their Luxon Demons, and
Yeah.
they just actually dropped some information relative to the drop in this tweet.
Yeah, this is great. I know a lot of people were kind of waiting for the specifics on the drop date, and they have it right here. So looks like February 4th, you're going to have the Angel Eyes holders, which is the first little mint pass they put out on Universal Page. If you hold one of those, you're going to get to mint 3 basically at like half price. And then there's the next day, the following day will be the community whitelist, which, shout out Meta Heads and Pixels. You guys got some of those. There's a CSV file I can get you. I'll probably post it too. You can double check your addresses before that date to see if you were one of the lucky ones that were drawn. And then the public mint for the rest is on the February 6th, which I love this art. It's all hand drawn, illustrative art. They have some grand plans for some really cool stuff, like an animated short and some other thing. Like the things that they're doing, and how they integrate these LSPs as well is I'm super intrigued about what they have planned.
Yeah, any of these early collections, it's going to be incumbent on early collections to think about utility not as like necessarily what's the value that I'm returning to my holders, but what can I do with these NFT 2.0s that make it unique, that push the boundaries, that help people learn from the process. So there's a responsibility with people who are launching these projects early on because they're not just flat images anymore. There's more that you can do.
Yeah, there's way more, room to grow and experiment and play and have fun on this ecosystem. That's kind of what it's all about.
Okay. Alts, do you want to take the Fab tweet?
Sure. Yeah. Now we got one from Fabian. If I'm seeing this, I wonder what burnt pics will be worth, as that's real NFT art from Peter that he showed his own there. They got iterated, but this was in response to an Ether rock price, which, it's always funny. Like we had that meme last week of just like the same art at different prices is, ugly or beautiful, right? And it's just so basic, and it's just more about the game of holding these OG NFTs. But so it's always fun to kind of speculate on, and that's kind of what we're doing now, right? And that's one of the great things about being early is we have a chance to get some of these things, not at these ridiculous prices, if they become valuable someday.
You know what I love as a project, and honestly, I'll hold on to them for a long time and collected a full set myself. The pixel art from Cupco. Love the people behind this project. Jack, Jem, and Aureliano, great people, been around for a while. When we talk about reputation, talk about people who have spent time building a reputation of being positive influences, putting the work in, right? Having creative vision that extends beyond a selfish vision of what they want to do. I don't care if anything ever comes of these pixel beans because I have no idea what they have planned. I want to support builders that have forward and future vision. And I know that Jack and Jem and Aureliano have been around for a while. So again, big fan of this project.
I'm a big fan of this team as well, and I love the concept. Really cool pixel art. I was fortunate enough to have minted a pink one. Thanks Rob. Shout out. I had an RL thing going on, but he minted a few for me, and I got lucky. So yeah, I'm still going after the complete set. It's not gonna I'm not gonna have to bend over for the pink one like you did. But I just love this team, and this is one of the things that we love is supporting the people that have been around, being positive contributors for so long, right? And we know that like these things they've been working on for a long time. It wasn't like they just saw an opportunity to grab some cash and just threw some stuff together. Like, no, these people that have been building with grand visions for the future, and I definitely wanted to be a part of this one as well.
Yeah, and this kind of goes like there's lots of new projects that are popping up all the time. I mean, I think some of the stuff that's out there, I like pixel art. I'm seeing more of it. I won't mention the projects by name. what stops me from mentioning them is they're popping up out of nowhere and I don't know who's behind them, right? Like if someone popped up and they were like, hey, I'm X person, I'm behind this project, that's going to be easier for me to support than a completely anon team that's going to mint something. I mean, did we learn anything from the last bubble? How many of these are absolute complete rugs? Either complete rugs or they're just art. And if they're just art, that's cool too. I love being an art collector, but like we really have to understand the scope of these projects. And there's a reason why NFTs are in a bear market, because honestly, this entire sector wasn't exactly operating, in a way that was sustainable. I think that's
Right.
what I
Yeah.
want to say.
Definitely wasn't sustainable, because the barrier of entry for creating a lot of these things, during this last cycle of NFTs was, so low. Right. And then it was just like the community trying to figure out how to navigate those waters. Right. And I think we've all learned a lot of lessons from that. Right. But I think the reputation we talked about earlier is a big part of that.
All right. We're getting on almost to the hour. Let's get to visual learning.
Let's do it. All right. I know everybody loves memes. I love memes. ETH, you love memes?
Love memes.
Love memes. Yes. So Platties, thank you for this. This is their meme competition number 2. The first one was fun. This one, they're already a much bigger community, and we're seeing a lot of these things come up. Some of them are absolute gems. I know you love this first one as much as I did, ETH.
Oh yeah. Where did you even find that face for Fabian when he busts through the door and he looks surprised? Oh my God.
Oh man. Yeah. This one's great. This is from crex.lix. Yeah. Hilarious. Save the platypus. He just left the bored ape to save himself.
Crex has been knocking it out of the park. Really, doing a great job with memes.
Yeah, Crex has been crushing it. Keep those coming, fam. We love them. Next up, we got one from Mintz, the classic meme template here. He's thinking about her. He's thinking, no, I better get a Platty's whitelist or I'm gonna lose my shit.
I think when Mintz made this, he was thinking about beef, because that is actually a live shot of Beef Banks in bed with his wife.
I need that Platty's.
Oh God, makes me laugh. Oh, Alt, I know you're a big fan of a pup, so this one we had to put up here. Well, actually, you made it.
I did make that one. Yeah, everybody wants to be a Platty, including this cute little pup. Web3's best friend. I was just like scouring for funny, platypus things, and I came across this, and I was like, oh my God, I got to share this.
What was great is I saw that, and I was like, oh my God, Alt is gonna love this. And it was only after I put it in the show, I was like, Alt, you got to check out this meme that I saw, and actually looked at who made the meme.
That happened. That's probably for my PFP change. You probably just glossed over it and didn't even know.
Awesome.
All right, so we got another one here from Espinalo. The Platty kicking her off. She said, "Me or Platty's whitelist had to make a choice."
I love how we grabbed Perry the Platypus with like a nice little roundhouse. Or do you think that was like a flying Liu Kang kick off the back?
I like the idea of the flying Liu Kang kick. Yeah.
If you don't know Liu Kang, then too bad.
Yeah, that's your own fault. All right, well, staying in visual learning, we've got another one from Fabian here, testing out the new Apple Pro Vision 3, reality-defying quality and weight. Yeah, it looks stupendous.
Now, I don't know if Fabian realizes that we'll probably take this shot and meme it 100 different ways. With that, he's got the Apple mouse, like the magic mouse, like literally on his eyeballs. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love that that our founders both have a really good sense of humor too, because they get to join in the fun that we have.
Mm-hmm. All right. This one is completely out of left field, has nothing to do with Platties, but I love it because I think people who use the light mode on any app are psychopaths. And this meme says, don't be afraid of the dark. Night is just Earth in dark mode.
I find it ironic that they're using white mode to do that. Why is their Twitter not in dark mode? The internal drama of that has got me reeling.
Yeah, that's because Rob is a psychopath. He's got Twitter in light mode. He's the one who pulled the tweet.
Rob is the psychopath, confirmed. So these are all from Rob's perspective. We can see Rob is a psychopath. All right, so we got another one from Chill Wells here. Another artistic piece from Drowsky Talkie with a bunch of chill wells, just chilling on the beach. I imagine this is like a $200 LUKSO or just like beach party time.
Beach party time for sure. I like that the question was, what's Alt's doing with his hand?
I'm just soaking in the sun and just basking in $200 licks. I just can't help myself.
Oh God. Oh, all right. Last one of the day is normal people. Crypto's a scam that's backed by nothing. And today, being Groundhog Day, also normal people. The groundhog has seen his shadow. Winter will continue. Yeah. Total bonkers.
Shout out Groundhog Day, one of my favorite comedies of all time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's pretty much gets us through the show. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to see more of this content, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for support, everyone. And FYI, if you have the mainnet launch party role in the KEEZ Discord, make sure you drop your up address. These mainnet, let's think of them as proof of attendance, little rewards will be claimable shortly.
Yes. Don't miss out on that, fam.
Yeah, don't miss out on that.
Well,
Okay, well, Alt, I think we had a message from Satan.
I think we did actually. Yep, confirmed. Local man paralyzed after eating 413 chicken nuggets. What did we learn from that, ETH?
The limit's 412.
Yeah, if only he could have gotten a 420 for the culture.
That's what he was going for. He's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
411, 412. And then he got to 413 and his whole face froze. He just stroked out.
God, I mean, I hate to laugh at someone's expense, but hopefully they're okay now after they digested that. Maybe it took them a week.
Did you say you hate to laugh at people's expense? I think that's pretty much what we do.
Well, it depends. If they're physical expense, I don't want to wish harm on anybody. I want everybody to be okay. But yes, we will still laugh.
Yeah, I made multiple forms last week where if you didn't respond the correct thing, you got rickrolled. So in an endless loop.
Never miss an opportunity to troll. Speaking of that, ETH, what would you say is the best outfit for somebody to wear today on February 2nd?
Ooh, that's a good one. And I got it last week. I'm on a roll.
You did.
It takes 2 for a streak, right? So
yeah.
What's the best outfit for people to wear on Groundhog Day?
It's funny you say that.
Nothing? Naked? Birthday suit?
A tutu.
Oh,
You literally just said 2. I thought you were going to bring it home. You did not.
No, I screwed that up. I have no idea. I was thinking
well.
naked.
Yeah, you went in the gutter, straight to the gutter.
I was thinking like, old school when Will Ferrell's running down the street. We're going streaking. Right now, Alt is looking for that.
I'm
on
literally
soundboard.
looking.
He's
Where
trying
did I put
so
that?
hard.
What a missed opportunity.
A
Shit.
few moments later.
We're going streaking! Yes!
But yeah, we appreciate your support, fam. Those of you who joined us live, thank you so much. I always love seeing the activity in the comments. And those of you watching on your own time, we appreciate you. Thanks again. We are all on this journey together. It's a long road, but it's going to be a fun one. Hope everybody's Friday's going great. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Just remember, in 3,026 years from today, life will either be really good or really bad. It's 50-50.